So, Voice, what's your history with the Clone Wars? Good history. Meme.
So I watched the original pilot film in the theater back in 2008.
You poor soul.
I know, right?
Well-
Luckily, it was before I had standards, so it was fun.
Before your prefrontal cortex kind of just came in.
Yeah, it was in the before time. I kept up with the show pretty regularly after that, and it got progressively better as it went along. And there's a lot of stuff in it that is incredibly meaningful to me as a fan. And some of the best moments for me are in the Clone Wars. So even though, you know, obviously there's plenty of flaws you can pick, especially with those early seasons, but the journey I think was well worth it. I think there's a lot of stuff I would not want to do without as far as Star Wars is concerned when it comes to the Clone Wars. So yeah, it's a very meaningful show to me.
And your opinion on Theo?
No comment.
It's one of the better pieces of Star Wars media out there, which
that
is
what
saying
you're gonna
a
say?
lot. Which is saying a lot considering the breadth, but not too much when you consider what it actually is. But I watched the film. It was crap, but I liked it anyway. And then a couple years later, the Clone Wars came out, and at this point, I'd already became quite cynical. So I watched it, and it wasn't for me. And then I got told to go back to it sort of after season 2 had aired, and they'd said, "Hey, there's actually some good stuff in it. You should check it out." And I was like, oh, okay. So I was all geared for season 3 and 4, and I watched it. And I was like, oh yeah, there's still plenty of episodes I would skip, but when it's good, it's good. Like really
you
good.
said years. I'm pretty sure season 1 came pretty soon after the movie.
I think it was like 18 months.
I don't remember now.
I don't think it was quite as soon as
I just remember that not long after, because I was a kid. I was 8 years old, looking up at the cinema screen, watching the Clone Wars when it first came out as a movie. And I again, a little 8-year-old me was just fucking eating that shit up. I loved every moment of it. And obviously I had a huge crush on Ahsoka, little 8-year-old me.
The first episode came out about 2 months after the movie.
Oh shit, okay, I guess my timelines are wrong.
Yeah, because the movie came out August 15th, and the first episode aired October 3rd.
Well, fuck. Okay.
I remember I went back to season 1 a little while ago, and the episodes with like Yoda, for example, while they're not the best episodes, they're not as bad as I remember them being, in being honest.
The one that really stood out to me in season 1 was Rookies. That was like when it started to stand out as, oh, we're actually trying to tell like a mature war story here.
Yeah. There's several things I think this version of the Clone Wars does better than the 2003 one, even though loads of
don't say that, you're gonna get people.
Loads of
burning down your
people
fucking
say
house.
that it's better in like every way because I don't know, Grievous was threatening, I guess. It's like, okay, but the clones are actually people.
You get some villain fatigue in the Clone Wars 3D cartoon.
It's because they were working with limited assets. They literally only had Ventress and Grievous.
You had Ventress, Grievous, Count Dooku. One of these villains, they're going to appear multiple times in a season.
I mean, they recently they figured that out pretty quickly though, that you can't just have them as bad guys in every episode.
Yeah, and they needed to figure out different ways of creating hordes of the same enemy, or the same asset enemy.
Yeah,
like the Tals in season 2 when it comes. Actually, is Trespass season 1 or season 2? I can't remember. Might be season 1. But Trespass specifically, it's like the Tals. They're like all one asset. The Umbarans all one asset. I mean, it's a good asset, but it's still quite obvious they reuse it.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't like in the 2003 version that I'm glad this one did is that it actually made the clones as individuals. Which
And they're
I
getting the
think
right
is-
accents as well.
Yes.
That's important because they all were American in the.
Well, it's
in
not
the
exactly the right
original
accent.
one.
This is more Australian than New Zealand, but I suppose they're
It's
close
like-
enough geographically.
But they're basically as blank as the droids they fight in the 2003 version. They don't emote
Yeah.
at all. They don't
It's
react to pain
very over
or
the top.
suffering. They are literally just cannon fodder, which they serve the same purpose in this show, but they actually put the effort in to make them likable. I actually care when the clones die, because obviously you're not going to kill the Jedi, especially when you're hanging around with Obi-Wan and
Well,
Anakin.
it
and
depends
Ahsoka.
on the Jedi.
Well, yeah, but
There are Jedi that die in the
if you're
show.
gonna use any that are recognizable, you can't kill them off because obviously they have a proper time. So
Hmm.
who do you fear for the lives of? The grunts in the army. And to
Heavy.
do that, you have to make them characters. That's why there's no stakes in the 2003 version, because everyone you follow, you know is gonna survive, and the only people that can die, you don't care about.
Anyway, I think we'll move on to the episode now, but just to establish, me, LitDev, Meme Repository, Voice and Radio, we all love the Clone Wars, and this is the sequel. There's no Rebels, we just ignore that show. That didn't exist, that's not a sequel. This is the
afraid.
sequel. Can you hear it?
I sure
Yeah.
can.
Oh yeah, I can.
Alright. The Lucasfilm logo, very much established with quality. Well, they did
Oh.
Grievous to the logo. Oh, Commander Droid.
Oh, I see
Okay.
what they're doing. This is like an animated version of.
What they did with the Mandalorian.
Yeah, so that's like, but that's like animated characters, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, and there were no sequel trilogy shit in there, so I approve.
That's good. What sequel trilogy?
Exactly.
Aftermath.
Are we gonna get the Clone Wars level intro? Yay!
I love that.
Glad to see he still has a
Wait,
radio
why are
show.
the droids surrendering? But I like that recreation of Revenge of the Sith.
This is the only
Isn't
Bad
that
Batch
the
episode?
Jedi Master of Kanan Jarrus?
Oh, I think so. Or maybe I would have to.
I wonder who looked at this show and was like, hey, we need E18 in Star Wars.
I would not be surprised if that was a George Lucas idea originally, all the way back when.
Yeah, there's Kanan, I think.
Yep, there he is.
Here.
Where are they?
Caleb? Trust me.
How many are there?
5 of them.
5? We're done.
That's what I thought. But you're gonna see these clones.
Bye!
Actually, just one.
They're different.
Are they snowboarding?
I hope so.
At the snow... at the snowdrift.
At this time of year? At this time of... Oh no, they just throw a rock at him.
Open with
I'm
rock.
already seeing a few red
Okay.
flags on the animation, like when we saw Grievous earlier.
I'm glad you can see it, 'cause I can't. I'm just looking like, ooh, pretty.
Well, you know, I do this stuff for a living, so I kind of have to notice it when it goes a bit iffy in the animation.
Mine is.
What are they doing?
Is the
They're pushing one tank over so it'll pull the rest off. Why not just blow up the tanks?
Because this is more fun, obviously. Well, there they go. Well,
Guess I'm in charge now.
I think that's a reuse of a joke from season 1.
oh yeah, they did that before. It was like, don't shoot, I'm not the commander, he is.
He's
And
the
then they
commander.
shoot the
Oh,
other
I
guy,
guess
he goes,
I'm the
"Oh."
commander now.
If you're done
Man, you
hiding
guys
down
had some
there,
lousy
I
cover.
suggest you launch a counter at the general is the one who gives the orders around here.
There you are, little Jedi! You missed all the fun!
That guy's voice is not fit
Yes,
what that guy
Master.
looks
I
like.
know, because it's the voice actor from
Hunter.
Rebels.
Echo, Tech, and Crosshair.
I am
I think it's a bit some time has
encrypted
passed. This is now the end of the Clone
Crown
Wars.
Intelligence is reporting Jedi General Obi-Wan Kenobi has found and engaged General Grievous. and
Did they
most
just
likely
decide to
armies
give him an
along-
R2 penis for a hand?
Fascinating theory, yet
Yes.
unfortunately not
Why?
something we can
Give him a
control.
metal arm.
I suggest we focus
You can
on the
do
task
that,
at
we know
hand.
you can. Luke had one.
orders?
In fact, Wrecker here is a
Right.
cybernetic
Shall we
eye,
do
and so
what
does
we do?
Commander Wolf.
Let's blow something up! Yeah!
Maybe his girlfriend's a computer.
Why does, why does Echo
They do.
why does Echo have a shit hand?
Ready for this?
Maybe he likes
There's
to
the one he
Robocop
was
people
built.
with it.
Fast.
How many Bad Batch episodes did they release? This is one or the whole season?
This one, and it's like an hour and 20 minutes
Ooh,
long.
it's almost a feature-length film.
66.
Old 66.
Oh dear, we're doing this now.
Almost immediately. Order 66.
Not fucking about, we're getting right to the action.
Well, that clone didn't have a very good grip on his gun. It's weirdly hovering.
You must run!
Stay away from me!
Guess they aren't affected by Order 66.
No?
Or were they not in earshot when Order 66 was
What, you think they would still have chips?
Well, they'd have chips, but isn't it like vocally activated? I don't know.
Execute Order 66.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I heard that. What's Order 66?
I am not certain.
So they did hear it. They have received the command, but they don't know what the command is.
They don't know what it is.
You can.
Yeah, I guess because they're already defective.
Why would the Kaminoans want this?
Stole anyone who
Yeah,
tries
why
to
would the
hold us.
Kaminoans create the Bad Batch and then not put Order 66 into them?
It's like, I heard it too, but what does it mean? Really? That's the excuse we're getting?
Wouldn't Echo still have his chip? Well, they've kind of wrote themselves into a corner when they started adding the chips, which I still think is a mistake for the Clone Wars.
What are you doing? Following orders. We don't even know what the order is. Good soldiers follow orders.
Oh.
So, okay, he's got a chip. No, does anyone else have a chip?
Worry. Hunter's handling.
What is this? Some sort of suicide squad?
Orders from the Supreme saying the Jedi have committed treason. That would explain things. It doesn't begin to explain things.
Who listens to this and who doesn't? Because I'm confused now.
Don't they kill off one of the members
So-
so they can add a new one?
Suppose it's the case of each one of them is a different level of defective, so the chip is like affecting them differently?
I'm on your side.
Listen to Rambo. Rambo
Listen
clone.
to Rambo clone. I'm on
I want to
your
point out
side.
that
I
Caleb's
said
story
that
was already
really
covered in the comics, and fair to say, the Bad Batch weren't in the comic.
Are you telling me Disney doesn't know how to keep continuity?
Essentially, the comics have just been thrown out the window at this point, like the Ahsoka novel. The Ahsoka novel is being contradicted
Completely
by the
contradictory.
final seasons. Yeah.
Stay back! Stay back!
I can help you.
Comic be what live.
Why would the other four not respond to this order, and why would the Kaminoans ever allow that?
You think if anyone's going to respond to it, it'd be Echo.
Yeah, so why would Crosshair be the only one affected by this?
Well,
And why
we'll
would
just
the
have to wait and
Kaminoans
see
allow
if the
that
show
to be
explains
programmed?
anything.
We'll see. Okay.
Up on Camino.
It's good to be home.
What?
You sure that Padawan died when he fell?
Sure, I'm sure.
Well, usually when someone falls, you look down, not across.
Well, some of us don't like to watch.
Oh, they got the
V-Wings.
V-Wings, yeah. They were in
I'm
the
a
Clone Wars.
nerd.
Shock troopers? What's the Coruscant Guard doing here? This isn't a drill.
Oh man, what we miss now?
The end of the war. General Grievous was defeated on Utapau. The Separatist leadership has collapsed. The war is over.
Just like I said.
It is just like
It
you
is
said.
over.
So if Order 66 has happened a while ago, it must have taken some time to arrive to Camino.
Probably, yeah.
So they only just remove the body?
It's not just the
Oh, he just killed him.
All the rigs are acting strange.
Excuse me, Trooper. What division are you from?
Step aside.
Step aside, nerd.
Well, this.
Fucking weirdos.
Good to be back.
Smells getting worse. You'll get used to it.
Get used to it.
Yourself.
11 more successful missions.
Color wasn't a win.
Is it a movie or is it supposed to be a series?
So,
Series.
It's series.
Hunter let that Jedi kid escape.
Think of executing our commanders as a mission objective.
An order is an order.
Since when? None of this makes sense. Those clones served alongside General Balaba for years. How could they turn on her like that?
Because of the Reg's programming.
What programming?
The Kaminoans inhibited the cognitive functions of clones to engineer them to follow orders without question.
we sure don't.
Obviously, we are different. They manipulated pre-existing aberrations in our DNA. My guess is we are immune to the effects of the programming, though I can't be 100% certain of it.
Before he joined
So they are
us.
trying to explain it at the
Yeah.
least.
Why didn't I react like the others?
The damage you sustained on Skako Minor most likely wiped out all of your preset behavioral modifications. You are more machine than man. Percentage-wise.
More machine now than man.
Has left me scarred and deformed. You can say that again. But I has never
First, Galactic Empire.
Galactic Empire.
I'm a bit iffy about reusing the movie audio.
Galactic Empire? We're soldiers of the Republic. That... We've got company.
Hello.
Oh no.
Adolescent human female. Origins.
You
Oh,
needed to
no.
scan her.
My name's Omega.
You needed
She's not
to
a
scan
clone,
her
right?
to find out it was a girl.
You're
It's the
quite
Mary
different,
Sue. Is it the Mary Sue that's supposed to be
What are you doing
in like
up
every
here,
single
kid?
Star Wars thing now? They have to have a Mary Sue in all of
Of
them.
course. She is my medical assistant. One with a curious mind.
Why would you have a human medical clone assistant? Who'd you clone? Why wouldn't you give them growth acceleration?
Maybe
I
she wants
I
that
assume she's
childlike
already a super
curiosity.
genius. So I need to just keep her younger so she can live longer, I suppose.
With the war at an end, the need for future clones is being questioned.
Our contracts.
Your contracts were with the Republic, which no longer exists.
Troopers will be needed to maintain order throughout the galaxy.
A service conscription soldiers could provide at half the cost.
The skill level and efficiency of
Hey,
our clones. is
Conscription
far superior to that
soldiers would.
recruited
They can
by-
do that, first of all. Second of all, that's
I
half
should
the
be judge
price.
of that, Prime Minister.
You think it would be a bit more than half the, well, a bit less than half the price of making an entire person?
And, yeah, feeding them, accelerating them, brainwashing them, you know, that's
It's
a
like there's
lot of
something
work.
Like they suddenly discovered the idea. Hey, maybe we can just conscript people in your army instead of,
Shuttle
you know, making one from scratch.
I heard he's
Palpatine discovers the draft.
Hypothesis based on factual data.
Oh, well, I got a fact for you.
Scientific ideas.
I like to blow things up. Because I like to blow things up! Got it?
Well,
Very zen.
I'm convinced.
Hello again.
Hello, insert character.
Omega. From earlier?
Squad's got themselves a new recruit. Another member added to the sad batch.
Ah, she's oppressed too. Awesome.
What the? Who threw that?
I did. Now apologize to my friends.
To me,
Stunning and brave.
back off. I suggest you keep moving.
Don't mess with that guy.
Know your place, lab scrubber. Oops.
That's it! Oh, yeah!
I like that he took the time to pick up multiple trays at once. Didn't make it. Oh, he is looking good.
Echo just went down like a little bitch.
Look, his one weakness is serving trays.
Trays. Oh, it's what's his fuck?
Ha! Told you he's alive! You owe me 2 credits.
Why would he be dead from being hit from a tray?
The same Tarkin from the Citadel rescue when you,
Blew up.
and turned into that. Yes.
But I...
Listen, kid. Our squad's nothing but trouble. For your sake, keep your distance.
She's gonna follow anyway.
No, you're. She's dead. This is her last appearance.
It was subverted expectations that was the case. Like, oh, never see her again. She decided not to follow.
For a battle simulation, you're being tested. Now go gear up.
We're not in trouble. And they want us to fight more? Oh, maybe this Empire thing's not so bad after all.
Oh, we're back in the training room. From
But
the...
it's been repainted black because Empire.
Because Empire.
The standard Imperial paint scheme.
I love how they painted this in one day.
They probably have paint droids. They're fighting the droids that repainted the room.
The droids kind of remind me of something you'd see in like WALL-E, you know, like the futuristic droids.
They remind me of those hovering robots from Man of Steel.
A little bit, yeah.
What else you got? Give me more!
Switch to live fire.
Admiral Tarkin, I must protest. Live rounds could damage my clones.
Why are
For
you
which
from
will be
Space,
fairly
Texas?
compensated.
Oh yeah, has Tarkin came in and been like, "Hey, we're decommissioning the clones"?
Yeah.
I think I think at this point he's only explicitly said that he's questioning whether they would be better than conscription. Hello, Dark Troopers, Mark Zero, whatever.
Yeah, I think these are supposed to be prototype Dark Troopers.
They're using live rounds. Get Wrecker. We'll cover you.
Fuck's sake, Wrecker.
Wrecker, are you all right? Oh, I built that one.
These are the same Dark Troopers that we saw in The Mandalorian?
They're supposed to, I think they're supposed to be Dark Troopers and they're supposed to be prototypes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because remember the ones in Mando were like the final version, so presumably it was a long line. Well,
though also in The Mandalorian, the earlier versions were described as suits, and the final version was described as being a droid, and the last defect to work out was the human element.
Benefit of the doubt, it's possible they started off as droids, but they were too primitive at this point in time to be usable, so they tried to do it as a
I don't know, they
mixture,
seem pretty
and then
effective here.
They're doing a good job here.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Echo just have an extra blaster built into his robot hand? That'd be so cool.
Why didn't the ones in Mando?
Reprogramming this thing would be pointless if you
Yeah, they required like extra blasters, which they weren't armed with in the episode where they
It was
steal
kind
the
of
child.
Terminators.
I don't know why you would send in the episode why you would send Dark Troopers into a battle situation with no weapons.
Because they were not thinking when they put those scripts together.
People still get on my ass for criticizing Mando.
Oh, I'm putting together a video criticizing Mando, so there'll be plenty of hatred to go around. Well, I guess these Dark Troopers aren't blaster proof, which would be a...
Would appear so.
Or even vibroblade.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. That's like a perfect 10.
That was a cool like show that they're vulnerable but also very competent when they put their brains and tactics to the
skills together.
the
Yeah.
test.
But now Tarkin has no leverage in canceling the contract.
Well, he does for regular.
Oh, they're gonna do abortions.
Oh, this is Clone Wars.
Tell me about Clone Force 99.
They are medically defective clones whose cellular mutations enhanced traits desirable in a soldier.
How many of these enhanced clones do you possess?
5 are all that remain.
I'm thinking the girl is actually just a Django clone that happened to end up female. And
that was my prediction from the start, that they're going to have a Django clone that end up female. And they're going to toss it into the series. Because they have to.
Also, I like the fact that she pointed out there was 5 of them, of these genetically enhanced clones. Technically there's 4, and then 1 was blown up and then put back together again. But technically he's not genetically engineered.
Yeah,
He's just Mr. Robot.
Unless they're referring to the girl in any way. Which, by the way, is there any reason for why this is a girl clone?
They said that it's a lab technician, and they haven't quite explained like why there's a female human clone wandering around, but maybe it will.
Maybe.
So I think so far I've had a few questions which have been answered by the show.
I can't imagine we'll go very long.
Because they managed to explain why the Bad Batch didn't commit Order 66. So they said that only 4 or 5 survived, but they didn't explain why there wasn't more Bad Batch.
Well, we have
they could.
Well, we have seen other defective clones in the series. Just this is the only time the mutations were beneficial.
We were there.
They could say that the mutations mean the clones are more likely to result in death, which is why there's so few of them.
There's a fundamental difference between taking fire in battle and being used for target practice.
Exactly. We're not dummy droids.
That was quite an impressive display. Nala Se speaks quite highly of her 5 enhanced clones. She claims you're more capable than an army. Separatist forces, intent on keeping the galaxy at war, will be looked
They're going to
upon
be
most
rebels.
favorably as I
It's going to be Saw
assess the needs
Gerrera.
of the Imperial Army.
I'd say that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
But whenever I hear Onderon, I just flash back to KOTOR 2 when having to fucking assassinate generals.
Oh, they didn't keep the
I get
nose
the
art.
flashbacks of having to go back to that cantina to figure out who the fuck killed that person.
Oh
to
my
get that
God.
person free.
I'll say this for the Empire. Ain't no firepower. You should see the new armory.
I don't understand how things have changed so quickly. Like, they've only just become the Empire. How have firepower changed, everything changed?
What do you want again? Self-insert
I know, but I need
NPC.
to talk to you. That Imperial officer, I think he has it out for you.
A mission's a mission. It's nothing to worry about. You're not a soldier. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous here too. Need to leave Camino.
Hunter, let's go!
I assume in reference to the armory, they just had a load of stuff saved up. This is Camino after all.
Oh, they'd have a lot of weapons in stockpile.
They'd obviously have things in reserve before they mobilize.
I think there's going to be a twist of Omega. There's going to be something about her that makes her amazing, or something.
And like she's good at being good at everything.
Oh my
Crosshair,
God!
no.
What if that's Boba's sister?
Boba has a sister?
Oh, but what if that
She might
girl
be.
is Boba's sister?
He could have a sister. Everyone, when you have a franchise landing in the hands of the SJW types, like Disney is, everyone can have a sister.
Well, they explicitly say his only price, apart from a lot of money, was a son of his own. They didn't mention a son and a daughter.
I wonder if Crosshair and Hunter are going to have a conversation like Crosshair knows Hunter let the Jedi go.
Well, he's already said when they were in their quarters that he knew he let the Jedi go.
Oh, really? Oh. Was he upset about it?
A little bit.
It's been days since I've blown something up.
You did that in training.
Hey, don't start with that.
It might have been days ago.
Yeah, but it's very unclear the time frame.
Yeah.
'Cause it still looks like yesterday Order 66 happened.
Still annoys me that Echo only has one hand when this is a universe where robot arms are easy to make.
Maybe it's like he can swap out his hands, like it's modular, and he chooses the one that can interface.
The show looks great though.
Some parts are a bit iffy in the animation department.
Anything's an improvement over Rebels, at least.
Oh, absolutely. This is miles better.
Zero droids. Tarkin said insurgents, not droids.
Not sure there either.
There are children down there. You're waiting
Good
for
clones murder children.
the order.
We're not alone.
I think a pretty safe prediction is that Crosshair, like, the rest are going to run off, and then Crosshair's going to hunt them down.
Betray
or
them.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Saw wouldn't be if they weren't going to bring Saw Gerrera in. Save the dream! Bogolit!
I bet it's going to be a reveal.
Why would Tarkin send us to attack our own force?
Because we refuse to fight for an empire.
There he is.
Save the dream.
You're Saw Gerrera, trained by Captain Rex and General Skywalker.
Thank you, exposition man.
In case you forgot to watch the Onderon arc.
I think it's also like, you don't look like Rogue
So,
One.
the newly declared empire sent you to wipe us out. Well, here we are. What are you gonna do? Strike us down like you did the Jedi?
I think he's trying to mix the Saw Gerrera we see in Rogue One with the one we see in Clone Wars.
Yeah, like a transition kind of thing.
Civilians, why don't you take a look at the insurgents you were sent to destroy?
Old fat lady and kids.
You completely forgot to point out all the people that you have behind you armed with guns. Those are also there. Those people are also there. It's not just all women and kids. The guy has a bazooka, okay? You are not totally innocent.
How are they all
Okay.
displaced already? Again, Order 66 just happened yesterday.
And I figured you for the smart one. With the Jedi decimated and the clone army under his command, Palpatine will have control over the entire galaxy. If we give up now,
Lord
everything we
Sidious
fought
promised
for,
us peace.
everyone
We only
we
want to...
lost
Ah!
will have been for nothing. The Clone War may have ended. The Civil War is about to begin.
The Clone War was technically a civil war.
It was regarded as the Galactic Civil War.
Well, no, the rebellion is regarded as the Galactic Civil War, and that's what they're referencing. But the Clone Wars, in the technical sense, is an actual civil war, whereas the Galactic Civil War is actually more of a rebellion.
Oh, no.
Probe droid.
Probe droid.
Wait, so
The
they've already
Empire were
gone from the
watching.
tiny probe droids to the big probe droids? Already?
I think that's a medium-sized probe
At least
droid.
with the we need to complete the mission.
Wake up, Crosshair. They sent us to eliminate innocent civilians. What's wrong with you?
Me? I'm following
I like how the accents are genetic.
Those insurgents are plotting against the Emperor.
I think the fact that D. Bradley Baker is able to voice like 5 people completely differently speaks volumes of his talent.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. He's the MVP of this show. Like, there is no Clone Wars without this. Without D. Bradley Baker.
This whole show is pretty much just be D. Bradley Baker talking to himself.
He's got a lot of money
I
for
see a
the show.
recording session of that so badly, especially him doing all these voices at once.
You know, usually in a recording studio you have like a handful of people who are in the scene to like respond naturally to each other. It's just D. Bradley Baker in a booth, and he's the entire everyone.
When Nalase spoke of 5 clones, Tarkin assumed that meant us, but echoes a reg. The 5th is Omega. I confirmed.
Oh, I was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, presumably she wants to tag along because she said Kamina's not safe, so she wants to be the protection of the actually combat trained clones.
She's one of us. We're not leaving her there.
I'm glad they addressed that, because I thought I was just being picky, but no, they actually...
Yeah, I found that I do have questions that keep popping up that the show does manage to answer. They have a teddy.
Oh.
Is it this?
That is endearing.
Wrecker's got a toy.
I like to imagine they made it themselves. Oh right, he's a droid too, so that would be like horrifying.
Like be holding a headless person, like someone's severed head. If someone's coming, why do you go to the door where someone's coming from?
You're coming with me. Don't touch me, droid.
Why would you stun the droid rather than just scrapping it?
Because it's...
It needs to come back, it's gonna come back later. It's gonna be the hero.
Maybe he's like, I don't want to get in trouble.
Maybe the
for
droid will
breaking
come with them
Kamino
too.
and stuff.
I want an entire spin-off show about BZ now. BZ's adventures, it's like Ewok Adventures, but better.
Ewok Adventures.
The
Like, even
intro
the
is just him
droids.
saying his full name.
They're gonna have Wrecker's Teddy and he's gonna get really pissed.
It'll be like the dog from John Wick.
Wrecker's gonna go on a solo mission to get the toy back.
He took that
It's
from
like
me.
Guardians of the Galaxy where someone takes his Walkman.
Killed that from me. I'm taking
Someone
him
just
back.
rips the Teddy's head off. It's like, you have taken that from me!
My Teddy, that is what you have taken from me.
Don't mess with Wrecker's Teddy.
Oh.
Wait,
Oh,
they
he does have the
knew they were
proportions
coming?
of Zod. Shiny, I need you to animate Wrecker climbing the building like Zod
The
now.
Empire does not tolerate failure, Sergeant.
Well, if I can find a 3D model of him, I'll do it.
Yes, Droid's report was quite
I look really weird in my mocap suit, just scrambling at a wall.
They let Tech keep his glasses.
Well, the plan wasn't a total failure. Goody.
Come back.
Don't you see we're locked up in here because of him? He had us disobey orders. I never thought you disobeying orders was a problem. Good
We do it all the
soldiers
time.
follow orders. First the Padawan, then Guerrera.
We can debate my choices later. For now, let's focus on getting out of here.
What do you know?
I know it's not your fault.
CT-9904, you're coming with us.
Oh, no. We stay together.
Oh, well, there you go, Shiny. They were listening, that's why they've picked him.
They realize you are not as defective as the others.
Oh god, what are they gonna do to him?
Scan is
They
cheap.
discover, hey, this one doesn't have a chip in his head. He's just a sociopath.
What is his status? Loyalty to the Empire during their mission.
While the chip is not as active as his standard clones, the Order does appear to be working.
Can you intensify the programming?
So they're gonna remove even more of his personality and turn up his programming.
I wonder if the reveal is going to be that Omega's actually a Force-sensitive clone.
Oh, good
Got it.
God, no.
This is not a prison. This is a Kaminoan facility. It was built prior to the Clone Wars. Because while these cells were retrofitted to hold normal individuals, they could not possibly account for someone like Wrecker.
Oh, you mean I could punch our way out?
Wait, what did you say?
Oh, you.
If you punch the... We'll need some cover. Form a wall.
Out of what?
Out of
To
people.
just stand really awkwardly in a line.
Nothing happened.
Didn't hit it
Are you
hard
sure
enough.
this is gonna work?
Try it
He
again.
tapped
He
it.
gave it a love tap. You know, he was just nervous the first time. You know, I am glad that
I'm sure it was
wasn't
the
little
wind.
girl that got them out of the cell. I was kind of
Must have been the wind. I guess they're going now.
What was that?
Sorry, these floors don't hold me so well. Account of them not being designed for abnormal individuals such as myself.
What's behind you?
Nothing.
That's one way to do it.
Hey, Red.
Did you fucking crack his helmet?
Yeah, he's awesome.
I think they did. He's probably dead.
You just killed one of your brothers.
I don't understand why they enjoy cracking the and breaking the armor so much. Like they did in The Mandalorian as well, where it just shatters when Boba hits it.
Yeah, well, it makes me question why they have why stormtroopers have armor in the first place. Because I used to, you know, there used to be the explanation, at least in the expanded universe, that they were designed to withstand like melee stuff or like projectile rounds. Just
Well, that was the
blasted with.
excuse for clones. The whole idea with stormtroopers was that the armor was cheap. Again, probably because, like Tarkin said, they wanted to reduce on cost. Probably because they're trying to fund a Death Star.
Yeah, it's just the armor has to be good against something, and it seems like you could like breathe on it, and it would just fall to pieces.
Make this quick.
A stormtrooper.
Yeah,
maybe.
it seems that every single time they add more to Star Wars, it's just they make the armor worse.
Where is it? It's gotta be her somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, he's looking for his teddy.
There it is.
Oh, Teddy, how did you get
Stole
it?
that from me.
Uh-oh.
I think he's gonna be like a recurring villain.
Best stand down, Sergeant.
Have you lost your mind?
Good orders follow
You should have
soldiers.
killed that
Orders follow
Jedi. You
soldiers.
disobeyed order.
I did what I thought was right.
I like that they are touching on about how the programming changed the clones.
Is that an order?
Yeah.
I guess it is.
I guess I'm disobeying that one too.
Maybe get behind cover.
There seemed to be a bit more fidelity on these models than there was on Tarkin.
Yeah. I think a lot of it also depends on how they set up the depth of field and lighting and everything.
Well, I think it's the shaders on the materials themselves, as well as the lighting.
Yeah, that's true. Clone Wars really benefits from that hand-painted look as well. It adds a little bit of extra texture to the program.
Yeah, I really do like the style. Much better than whatever the fuck Rebel style was, where you've got this noise on absolutely everything. Just
Yeah, well, it just looked like they just look like dolls.
Almost got it. Seal the bay doors.
Those are very slow doors.
Someone's overriding the controls.
Oh, they're overriding it.
Oh, so the Kaminoans, they've got an
I
insider
say go.
that's like,
You head for that ramp and don't stop.
I guess one of the Kaminoans is letting them go.
We go for Wrecker.
yeah.
Only one way out, Hunter.
Go!
Oh, she's gonna be a crack shot.
Of course she is.
That just went to shit.
Oh, was that just a lucky first shot?
I think that was luck.
Because
That
why
was damn
wouldn't they?
convenient if it's a lucky shot.
Why wouldn't a clone that was made to be a medical assistant also have sharpshooting skills? Why not?
Well, it changed that she was actually a modified clone. She just was used as a lab assistant for whatever reason.
So she was a regular
it's
clone.
like-
They made her into a female.
Well, we don't know. We just know that she's mutated.
Yeah.
That was exactly what I was going to say. Like, it's going to be a mutated clone, and it's going to be the mutation is that it's going to be like a female version of Jango Fett or whatever it is.
The remaining
They couldn't resist, could they?
She helped them escape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's like they want the Bad Batch in their back pocket in case the Empire decides to come in.
Well, I think it's not the Kaminoans, it's just that Kaminoan for whatever reason.
Yeah,
well, it's a good job.
I remember there used to be a fleet in orbit of Kamino. They didn't even send fighters to pursue them.
Is this what you were looking
Apparently
for?
not.
You found my
Oh, I think maybe that last thing was explaining that they were letting
The
them
Teddy's
get
called
away.
Lula.
Well, it's a good job they now have a free space for a new member of the Bad Batch.
Yes.
You see her in, you see her negative mutation as she's a woman.
Impressive shot back there. Where'd you learn to do that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just good at it.
Never fired a blaster before.
Exactly.
Guess I got
I
lucky.
never fired a blast before.
She's
I'm just
not the
awesome at
only
things.
one.
Well, I don't know. Who cares?
fine.
If she also winds up super strong too, once this show is done.
J19. We know a guy.
Yeah.
Strap
Are we
in, kid.
talking?
You're not
We're
gonna
talking
want this.
either Saw Gerrera or Captain Rex.
Well, how would they know that Rex didn't go through Order 66? Which, you know, funnily enough, he did.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. This is a genetically altered clone that has
It's a woman.
force to some capacity.
Probably something. Because I knew they would make a female clone. And I knew they would add it in here. I thought she was going to be the commander, but not the commander in this case.
Yay!
She does have like
Credits.
sharpshooting skills, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did make her like a Jedi or something, a Force sensitive.
She's probably got senses. I'm pleasantly surprised.
I did like that it was focusing a lot on the world building
Yeah.
of what's happened after. I do have criticisms of it. It's certainly not perfect, but
Yeah.
I did have a few criticisms which was addressed, thankfully. Like why the Bad Batch wasn't committing Order 66. And considering that this is coming from Dave Filoni, someone which wasn't able to follow things through in Rebels and explain things, as well as The Mandalorian, it's a pleasant surprise. It might just be my extremely low expectations. Okay, we can still go down the panel very quickly. Liddev, what did you think?
It's pretty good overall. I mean, even if the new character is a Mary Sue, she didn't overshadow them in this episode.
But what do you think for the future?
It looks promising as long as they keep the focus on the Bad Batch and don't make her overly powered.
But now she's part of the Bad Batch.
That's a little red flag.
I hope they'll treat. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I hope they'll treat her a bit like Ezra, and that
that's not a good thing.
But I don't mean like we're stuck to his back for every episode, because we're clearly not. We're clearly following Hunter. The problem with Rebels was that you had really important things like Darth Maul tracking Obi-Wan to Tatooine, but we were just glued to Ezra for the entire thing because he has to fucking be there. So I hope they don't do that, and I hope Omega is a better character overall, which I want to say she will be. She's not like a kid in the same vein.
I'm worried.
Yeah,
Meme, what do you think?
I definitely really enjoyed that first episode. I enjoyed that the additional runtime allowed for some character work, which I appreciated. The new character, she's nowhere near as obnoxious as I thought she was going to be. Like the only thing that made me
We're only in the first episode.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it could change, but I think if she there's two ways it could go. It could either be A, she becomes really obnoxious over time, or B, she kind of I suppose earns her way into that position over time. Like I guess an Ahsoka situation. It could. I see it as it could be. It could go either way. Naturally, Disney Star Wars has left me quite skeptical of these kinds of characters, but there's nothing inherently wrong with there being a female clone. It's more just like what is the
you have to explain the
behind
reasoning
it.
and then don't make them a Mary Sue.
Yeah, because what I appreciated with that breakout scene was that it was a team effort rather than she did everything, which I was the cynical part of me was almost expecting.
Well, they put a lot of effort onto the teamwork element, because even in the training room they like, oh, they work together to get out of this, and it's not something they can do individually.
Yeah, so if it remains a team effort, I think she has the potential to become endearing if she remains like a proportional part of the team, and isn't like, given a lot of lucky shots like we saw at the end of this episode. So I'm curious to see where it goes. Uh, Post Order 66 Star Wars is something I have a very big soft spot for as well. So that also helped with my enjoyment. So yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, and just another nitpick, as I did mention earlier. I I think it's a smart idea to take one of the crew, Crosshair, and then show how much he's changed because he's been infected by the chip in his head. Because they even brought to light that, okay, yeah, he never cared about following orders before, and then all of a sudden he cares about following orders, and now he's just completely changed as they ramp his programming up to 11. I think one of the things I would still like explaining is like why they don't have more of the Bad Batch. As I explained, it'd be an easy explanation just to say that the process means that a lot of the clones die. It's a miracle that we got 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd also like to understand like why the other 4 didn't have the same response, or Omega for that matter.
Well, they've already said that they've got different degrees of programming.
Yeah, but that would imply that some of them have different degrees of compliance. But like we only see Crosshair struggling with it.
But anyway, I guess we'll just have to wait and see the episode 2 then. And I don't know if that's going to be like a regular.
It's fucking obvious from the moment they Wrecker went, we got Order 66? What is that? And you're like, really?
Yeah, that certainly was a confusing moment, but again, I think they did explain it enough. But I guess we'll wait for episode 2. So may the force be with you. And fuck off.